Basketball is one of the greatest teachers that we have in life. And reflecting back over my time of coaching these past few months, here are the 5 biggest lessons I learned coaching. Over these past few months, I've been coaching basically like a rec team, it's like a higher level rec team, some sixth grade boys. And man, this was an interesting season. It was a fun season. Came with a lot of highs, with a lot of lows, a lot of lefts and rights. But I learned 5 things. Well, the mainly 5 things I want to share with you guys that I learned coaching these guys. So first and foremost, it's a process. Like everything is a process. In basketball, you have your process of how to get through season, get through games, and in life, you have your process of things. And throughout that process, you have to be very patient and willing to work the process to get the outcome you're looking to have. So, specifically talking to basketball, winning a game is challenging, man. Like you can have some talented pieces, you can have some things go your way, but there's a process that you have to go through in order to become a winner and win games and do things that lead up to being a champion overall. And um, this season really reminded me of that process. It's more than just having talent. It's more than just wanting to win. It's more than just thinking you're good enough. It's more than just feeling like you deserve a win. It's really going through the process of mentally understanding what it takes to do, of building up the skill level, what it takes to overcome these challenges, and you have to be patient with it. Of course, today we want everything to be at the snap of our fingers and be just how we want it to be in 5 seconds or less. But that's not how life actually works. And when you start to go through the process of winning and losing and things going your way, things not going your way, you understand um, it's really a full process. You have to trust it and lean into it and get to understand it. And which leads me into my second thing that I learned is that, like, understanding what it takes to actually be great and going through that process helps you understand what it takes to be great, because there were a lot of times where we were in games and felt like games we should have won, and you know it felt like we could have done a lot better. But what it takes to be great, we didn't meet those requirements. It was okay to say, uh, it's okay to be like, okay, we're good for the first quarter, and okay for the second quarter, but you can't have that bad third quarter, and then things just go down here. Or a decent first quarter, a better second quarter, good third quarter, but then you can't finish the fourth quarter. You have to go through the entire game and bring the max effort, max energy. And I was telling my guys, man, for us to compete, for us to win, we have to be the hardest playing team. Like that's part of our process, and that's what it takes for us to be great. And we're not allowed to not show up like that every single game and every single night. If we they saw it with their own 2 eyes. When we competed and we fought, we were in every single time. When we played as hard as we could, we were the scrappiest team. We were in those games. But when things didn't go our way and we started to back down, you see we getting blown out, and we lost heavily because we weren't playing hard enough. And that's part of the process, and that's what it takes to be great. So being great is playing to your strengths, of playing who you are, leaning into it, and then maximizing it, and going through that and being patient. Of first, you have to realize who you are, what it takes to be great, and what you have to do, and not have to actually do it. It's the next step of the process, and then keep doing it at a high level. And I was trying to tell them and show them that certain teams, they're not just going to back down um, and just beat them. You have to really beat them. They're not just going to get up on them and then you win the game. No, you have to actually beat them. You have to take the lead, take bigger lead, and then keep playing that way to actually beat these guys. Because these are some very talented kids, very well coached kids. I knew a lot of some of the other players on other teams personally, so I knew what they're about and what they're made of. So it's not just going to be easy sailing, think you're going to win these games. No, you have to actually go through this process of what it takes to be great as a player and as a team. So um, third lesson that I've learned for me personally, and hopefully the players realize this too, is that you have to be as good as a person or even better than you are as a talent or as a player. And I say that because me even getting this position in coaching was partially because I'm just a good guy, and I strive to be a great guy. And the season wasn't going the right way, and we were getting uh, early in the season looking real rough, real ugly. So I was kind of concerned about how the parents don't really know me that well. So I'm like, oh man, they probably finna get him up out of here. I don't know if I trust this coach like this coach, but I I don't fully know why, but everybody still trusted me and supported me. Um, and I believe part of that is because I'm such a great guy. The players love me. They believed in me. They like me. So it's easier for the parents to believe in me too because their sons are, rocking with me. So um, that's part of it. And then just I know what I'm talking about. I'm not like a terrible coach. I'm definitely not the best of the best, but you definitely can't put me at the bottom. And yes, I'm talented. Yes, I know the game. I understand things. But because I'm a good guy too, you're willing to put up with the loss. You're willing to put up with things not going the way you want it to be. And for players, man, like there's a lot of times where you can have the talent, you can be a skilled player, but if you as a person is difficult to deal with, you make everybody's life a little bit harder. You make the decision of you versus somebody else a little bit harder. So just be a really great person along with being a great player. And if you can be a better player, then be a better person than you are a player. That will take you a very long way because you gotta think, man, if I'm going to be your teammate, if I'm going to be coaching you, I have to deal with you for months. I have to deal with you early morning practices, after school workouts and practices. I have to deal with you during games, bus rides, late nights, bus rides and all these. I have to see you for hours every single day. And if you're a bad person, I don't want to deal with you. And you're making these experiences a lot worse. So be a great person. And if you can be a better person than you are a player, or be a better person than you are with your talent. So that's another lesson. And then next lesson I learned was uh being flexible and being able to adapt to the situation of whatever's called for you. So for me going to the situation, I had to figure out on the fly what the coach was doing and the plays he wanted to run and the team I was going to have and what the talent level was going to be with and be on the fly with that. And then we had to change in the middle of the season certain stuff. Had to be able to adapt and be on the fly with that. And a lot of times a player be missing here and there, or two players are missing here and there, and you have to be able to adapt and do things on the fly. And as a coach, you have to be able to flow with the game, be able to adapt to know, okay, this player has a role and this player doesn't have a goal in this time. Who do I need to sub in? How do I need to take out? Or maybe I need to change the play calls up and do this offense and maybe do this defense instead. So being able to be flexible, being adaptable is very important because in life, things will happen to you that you don't expect to happen out the blue, but you can't just sit here and just cry me a river and think things are still going to go your way. No, you have to figure out how to still be successful in spite of things not going your way, be able to adapt, change things, be like a chameleon, change around, and figure out how to get the outcome you still want to have in spite of things changing around you too. So you have to change just like things change around you. And last but not least, man, the next lesson that I learned is being able to bounce back from mistakes and being able to not make the same mistake too many times. And I think sometimes we do get into this robotic mindset of saying, I can't make mistakes. I'm not allowed to mess up. But that's not life. That's not what we do as human beings. We're gonna we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna mess up, which is fine. Then it gets to learn from those mistakes as soon as possible. Learn from those mistakes a lot quicker, and then not make the same mistakes over and over again. So there were a lot of times with the games where um, players will make some dumb pass, or some players will take a dumb shot, and I don't get too annoyed about it because it's like, all right, cool. But then make the same thing two more times. Now I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? Like that's not playing smart basketball now. So you can make a mistake, fine. I don't like it, but it's fine. But you make the same turnover three more times in a row, or you take the same bad shot two or three more times. Now I have an issue because you're not just making a mistake; you're making the same mistake over and over again. Like you don't see how things are hurting you and hurting the team. So it's one thing to make a mistake, but it's another thing to make the same mistake multiple times. It's another thing to make the mistake and not learn from it. So that's something that I really had to remind myself that, or the game reminded me is that you can make a mistake, but how can you learn from it and sooner make the adjustments faster and then not make the same mistake back to back like that. So I have players where great player, great ball handler, but then he'll make the same pass. And it's like, bruh, stop passing the ball like that. And they didn't get it. They make the same pass over and over. I'm like, bro, we've been doing this time and time again. We have to learn from these faster. So, man, if we can make a mistake and learn from it fast, be able to adapt and adjust to that faster, life will be a lot more smoother for us. And you can grow and make more progress a lot sooner and a lot faster. So, these are the main lessons that I took away. Um, the 5 big lessons that I learned from coaching these guys, man, it's a lot of fun. I appreciate the parents. I appreciate the players. Appreciate the coaches. It was a lot of fun to do all that, man. I learned a lot from them. and I appreciate all of them. Really meant a lot. So it was fun. So lastly, man, I really want to shout out my guys, man. So first shout out to Trey Adams. That's my PG. That was one of my biggest leaders on the team. Shout out to Trey, man. That's my guy. Next, I got to shout out my boy Ridge Bradley. He was a cool dude. He actually tried to play me in ones and beat him every time. That's what I do. And then he complained, but it's okay, man. You just take your L, keep it moving. Shout out to my boy Wells, Water Well, Wellington, Wells Brown, man. That's my guy. He was probably the biggest comedian on the team. He was a funny guy. He real great dude, man. It was fun working with him. Shout out to Wells Brown. That's my guy. And Beckett, man, that's probably, man, that's the hard hat wearing guy on the team, man. I think he hit the floor a minimum of 3 times every single game. He had this thing where he'd do like baseball slides to get the ball and stuff. He had like knee pads and stuff on, but I still don't understand why he did that so much. Maybe it's the soccer, baseball side of him coming up, but he did that a lot. And it was interesting to watch. So shout out to Beckman, but that was my guy, hardest playing guy on the team probably. He get banged up every single game. And probably he's the second smallest guy on the team. He's out playing, out hustling a lot of big. So shout out to Beckman, that was my guy. Andrew Cox, that's my boy. Hey man, that's an interesting kid right there, man. But that's my guy. He was very interesting to coach, man, because he would do a lot of plays, and I scratch my head. I have to let him work because he's one of those guys where they'll give you 5 crazy plays one game, and they'll be like, "What are you doing?" Head scratching type stuff. But then he'll give you 5 amazing plays to be like, "Oof, man, if that didn't go in, we have an issue right now." So you have to take the good and the bad with him with his wild game. But he's a good dude, man. I enjoy coaching him. Sam Guice, man. Shout out to my boy Sam. He was a bully. He was a menace. For every reason, he thought he was a good idea to bully me. I don't know why, but it's all good, Sam. We still cool. We still here. My boy, man. But he was a defensive lockdown player, man. It was fun coaching him. He's got to learn how to not foul every time because he fouled out a couple games. So Sam, stop fouling. My boy Ryan Isley, man. That was my most consistent. That's Mr. Consistent. I didn't have to worry about him in every game. I didn't have to think if Ryan's gonna show up or not. He was Mr. Consistent. He was the guy who showed up night in, night out, every single game. I knew I could trust him. I knew he was gonna show up, give me what he had, and we're gonna go home with Ryan, man. That's my guy, man. Next, shout out to my boy Big Michael Robinson, man. That's probably my award for most improved. The way he improved from tryouts and workouts and everything to the last game of the season was big time. He improved so much. He really started to expand, started to grow. His personality started to light up a little bit more throughout the season. He was he was a character in himself too, man. But he grew a lot. I'm happy for him. Proud of him. That's probably the most improved on the team. And this guy, like, it might be second most improved on the team. Shout out to boy Miles Winzeler. He was really he's a special case, man. So I'll tell you guys a story. So at one point in one game, I think at halftime, he sit by me on the bench. I was like, "What's up, man? You good?" "Yeah, I'm all right, coach." Like, how you feel about you playing right now? Because I knew he wasn't playing as much as he wanted to. Like, "Oh, that's all right. I think I can play a little bit more." So I just gave him a rundown of basically why I'm not playing as much and what he can do to improve and play more. And the next few practices, he improved a little bit more, you know, showed the progress things I was telling him. And then the next game came out, he looked a lot better. He was offensive defense things was looking a lot better. I told him why I can't play him, why I do play other guys more than him, and what the game calls for, we gotta do, so on and so forth. He showed the next game. And then I think 2 games after that, he had an amazing game, probably the best game he's played. And he took 3, 4 steps forward from where he was before. So that's probably second most improved, man, because he showed a lot that I didn't really realize he had about him, man. So shout out to my boy Miles. Man, it was fun coaching him, seeing his growth. But man, he's my 9 guys, man. It was fun coaching y'all. I really appreciate it. But shout out to y'all, man. That was a fun group, man. So shout out to them, man. My 6th grade team. Can't wait to see y'all fall out in school next year. And if not at school, hopefully I'll see y'all again and we just chop it up. And man, I'm happy for y'all, excited for you. It was an honor and privilege to coach you guys. Thank you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and my 5 coaching lessons I have for you guys. But comment some lessons you guys learned from the game of basketball and what you learn from the game that you apply to your life now too. And after you get doing that, subscribe and show some love to this channel, man. But thank you guys for watching. See you next episode.